Hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can start.
I joined Journey Home back in 2018, and I learned a lot of things from it. I found a lot of things about myself, and I have manifested a lot of things through it. And then I vanished, of course. I was going through some other stuff in my life, and I had to handle that. And today I brought my new husband.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Shahid, this is
Welcome.
Hello, Helen. Hello, everyone.
Welcome
Nice
to
to see
you,
you.
and well done, Mariam. You got married again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Nice
very
to
much.
see
So we both will be attending the session today. For him, at least, I would like him to know how it is, and if it works for him, then we'll definitely join more sessions this way.
I'll try not to scare him, okay? But no promises. Okay, Erin. All this started because of you, Erin. So I'm
Wow.
most appreciative of that.
Thank you.
You put yourselves kind of
Turn it
lopsided, Maria.
like this.
You're like this.
Ja, j'en ai déjà mangé, merci.
Is this okay?
Oh, Miriam. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes, Erin. Carry on.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Erin. I live in Hawaii, and
Aloha.
I somehow met Helen on Facebook, and been inspired by her words and her feeling, and the steady stream of feeling good that comes from Helen. So I've been reached out to her to ask about conscious communication to improve the relationships in my life, and then this all started. So it's beautiful to see all these faces from around the world. What an exciting time.
Merci.
Thank you, Erin. Yeah. And Eileen?
Hi there, everyone. Yes, I am really excited about this course. I've always have had a knowing, an innate just knowing that most of the problems in the world, most of the issues in our relationships would be solved if we all knew and had the skills on practicing conscious communication. But there isn't a class in college you can take for that. There necessarily isn't. You know, there's not any formal necessarily. There's no. Let me just. I'm having a hard time articulating it because it's not a course that is taught in school, which I think it should be. But conscious communication is definitely a skill from what I understand, and I think it's a necessity more than ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I have coached kids, and I would like to do that on a much bigger scale worldwide. You know, I'll tell you more about it this evening. Yeah, thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.
Emily, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, hi. I'm Emily, and I met Helen through how do you call that? Evolved and personal development programs online. I think with Panache Desai maybe, and then I heard about her coaching programs, and I took the dive. I was hesitant because I'm not in a financial situation that's so bright right now, but and I have like health issues. I'm going through different kinds of back problems since 2016, and latest so I went to see a pain doctor because I have lots of pain going on and off in different places, but mainly my neck and arm and leg, right, although on the right side. So I have some fibromyalgia symptoms or something like that. And this tool is really helping me and beyond, and I feel my
what tool, Emily?
life is shifting. What's that?
What tool?
Oh, the tool that you share in the coaching program, the Golden Globe, it's amazing. It's really easy to access to this tool, and that's meeting what you were saying before. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but how this is a necessity to teach that tool as well, conscious relationships, and how to be conscious yourself, and using that tool to feel better, to heal, and to manifest and create your life, really, because we're not taught that, unfortunately. This is how it is, but it would be cool. Yeah, definitely looking forward to witnessing more of that teaching going on in the world. It's really needed. Yes. So thank you, Helen, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Emily. Emily's in France. Can you tell them which part of France?
Saint-Raphaël in the southeast of France. Yeah.
Christina?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Russian, living in the Netherlands. Have 2 kids, and I know Helen from 2011, I think, long time ago. So she helped me a lot, supported me to go through depression, burnout, meet my current husband, have kids, and create life what I'm living now. And miraculously and happy. And now I'm diving even more because for 2 years I'm already an associate coach of Helen. I've took also the coaching training, and I'm happy about this because it goes very deep, and it's an amazing journey. It's amazing personal journey of your soul, and to be your soul. And actually, you can see it in practice because I use this methodology and this wisdom on a daily basis with my family, with my kids, with my husband, and it's amazing results. So we become more, more peaceful, harmonious. We now much more understand each other, more respect, more love, and more like tuning to each other. It's very difficult to explain. You need to feel it, but it's a different state of being where you come from a different, deeper point where you can create something beautiful. And I'm very thankful to Helen and to be in my life. She also helped me to go through some health issues, and also building a coaching business. It's amazing how it's all developing, because when I was 14, I really wanted to help people. And now it's actually coming into reality, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
How do you find using the methodology for those who are your clients?
Can you repeat it, please? I didn't hear it very well.
An echo here. How do you find using the methodology for your clients now? Christina is part of my global team that I'm building, and Emily will be in the near future, right?
As soon as possible. Yeah.
Okay. So you can look forward to a lot, Emily. Not just
me too.
But health, the coaching, and maybe another person too. Huh? So,
yeah.
Sorry.
It's actually amazing how this methodology wonderfully works for the clients. They really enjoy a big transformation, and they come into great balance and harmony, and they create much more fulfilling life for themselves. So one of my clients could go through significant loss of the father, and and she was very depressed. But after the coaching, she could find herself and find strength and peace, and create much more. So she even had a second child. And with another client, she found her inner strength, inner wisdom, and now she's creating new relationships, a new relationship with her future spouse, actually. So that's really important. And she got a promotion, she got a salary increase, she bought a house. So yeah, it was a very difficult choice for her to decide about the divorce of her first husband, but it was necessary because it was her soul decision. And now she's thriving, actually. And my two other clients are actually males, and they're also experiencing a great transformation within themselves. One is really discovering himself and uplifting and freeing himself, as figuring out who he is and what he can do in the world, within the company, and with his own life. And another one is could actually uplift his relationship with his wife and find clarity within his own business.
So in other words, this methodology really works across the board. Okay, Christina is new in delivering this methodology, and yet she and the others on my team have great success with their clients. Okay, thank you, Christina. Annetta, with an A, can we hear from you? Or you can't use the, oh, you can, okay.
Yes, hi, sorry.
Oh, you're outside.
I'm outside, yeah. I needed some fresh air. Hi everyone, my name is Aneta. I kind of started my spiritual journey when I first moved to Singapore in 2006. And then I started to dig much more into that when I was pregnant with my firstborn 6 years ago. And then I met you, Helen, in 2017, 18, I think, something like that. And I did 1 year of the journey home, which was amazing. That's where I met Christina as well. So very nice to see you. And yeah, it's been
where are you
ever
now?
since. Oh, I'm in Norway. Very nice. It's quite cold, but it's yeah, you can see it's quite blue and sunny and nice.
If I go around the room, sorry to interrupt, I've got Mariam on the top left here in Pakistan, and I'm in Singapore. Erin is in Hawaii. Eileen is somewhere near San Francisco. Emily is somewhere in France. Christina is in Holland. You're in Norway, and Johanna is in Vienna. How about that?
Amazing. Yeah, so yeah, I've been following Helen and her work, and this popped up, so I really wanted to be here with you all today. I think it's very important that we all create this new world, and I totally agree with the whole school system and creating something for our kids. I have a big dream that I would want to homeschool my daughter, but in school environment, if that makes sense, like a world school, so she can attend classes with other kids, and yeah, and we can also travel, and she can see the world and make a difference for other kids. Yeah, there's a lot of ideas around that, but we will see if it's ever possible.
Okay, we've got 10 years to change things around the globe.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to share some things with you. A second.
Ooh, I like the colors. Yeah, it's been raining for a little bit actually.
I like your hair now. It's cool.
You like my hair now?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, you might have to mute yourself, darling.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Let me see if I can put this. Okay, I've lost everybody now. Are you all there?
Yes.
I'm here.
Yes.
Okay, now I see. Okay. For the sake of those who don't know me that well, or not only those who are present here, but this will be shared with others as well. First of all, I chose this template for this presentation for various reasons. One is that previously I would see primarily golden and violet colors, right, in terms of light. Most of you know how in the year 2000, when golden light emerged from me and filled up the entire room from floor to ceiling. And then a lot of things changed after that. But in recent years, I see rainbow light. That's one thing. Second thing is that the point I want to drive home is that everything is energy. Okay. And even as a child, I would see rainbow light like pixels, in the air. Okay. And I thought everybody could see that, but then I found out much later that no, not everyone sees it. And this is what everything is made of. It's just how dense or how light that energy is. Okay. And that is actually an underlying factor in our lives. If we can begin to see everything in terms of how light or how dense the energy is, then we actually can solve a great number of things. I'll elaborate on it in a moment. And if you look at this logo here, this is a stylized or contemporary version of the yin-yang symbol. And what does the yin-yang symbol stand for? Anyone? Mariam, would you know?
Balance.
I think it's a light and dark, light and darkness together, and how it both sides together, how different conflicting aspects of personalities or universe make everything whole.
Okay. Emily?
I would say balance, harmony.
Yes. Balance is, Mariam is correct as well, but it actually stands for balance, right? And harmony, right? So yes, it is like the light and dark coming together and creating harmony out of that, okay? And balance, especially from this year onwards, it's always been important, but balance is really key. And we need to come into this inner state of great balance and harmony so that we can create the same outside of ourselves for us individually as well as for the whole world. I'm not sure who this is.
Helen, it's me trying to log in from.
Okay. There was one. Yeah. Okay. I'll come to it in a bit later and talk a bit more about balance. But generally from this year, we really need to be focused on that. And so it's our own inner balance, right? At all levels, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, even financially, and also in relationships, right? Yeah. And unless we come from that centeredness and that inner balance and harmony, we're going to project any inner conflict onto others, are we not? Would that be a natural thing to do, Emily?
Oh yeah. Sometimes it can go big. With those pains that happen, sometimes I get thrown off real quick. So recentering is really helpful, especially nowadays. Yeah.
And I started this company actually ages ago. It started as a communications company, and we were servicing multinational companies throughout Asia. And because of my own spiritual path and the golden light emerging from me in the year 2000, after 9 or 10 years of in-depth inner work, then really I had no choice but to finally answer the soul's calling to do this work, right? Coaching was and still is a very useful label for what I do, but it's very, very in-depth coaching, and I'll elaborate on that again in a moment. Transforming people and organizations. When I started doing this professionally as a conscious business, I started with individuals and then groups, and almost immediately, it was almost all at once actually, with large multinational companies. So bringing in-depth spiritual work to corporations, because they comprise of human beings anyway. They're little communities, or in some cases, fairly large communities, right? And they have to interact with each other, and they have relationships with each other as well, right? So it's to bring consciousness to everyone at all levels, right? And including kids as well, okay? Why can't I move this? Okay, this is not working so well. So yeah, I then in 2019 created this program because that's what everyone needs throughout the world. You know, whether we are kids, whether we are 5 or 65 or the whole range in between and even beyond. And here's a quote from Rumi, where he says, "Only the soul knows what love is." And what I would say is communicating, if we're talking about conscious communication, then I'd say communicating and relating cannot be more conscious than if it comes from the soul or spirit or the consciousness that we all are. And all of humanity, all of us, we are heading towards unity consciousness and ultimate mastery. It has to involve collaboration and cooperation, caring and compassion. I have some questions for you. How conscious are you? You can write down these questions.
Okay.
They are very useful. I'll explain why in a minute. How fully do you love and honor yourself? How high is your deservability quotient or DQ? I'll explain all of this in a minute. How do we navigate these times, personally thrive and support others? How balanced and harmonious are you internally and in your life? How naturally playful, light-hearted, and joyous are you? And how open are you to receiving all that you desire and dream of? We'll talk about this in a minute. But first, let's include everyone. Okay. Can I see, how can I, I'm going to stop share then, like, so that I can see everyone. Did you take note of the questions or was I going too fast?
A bit, yeah. Especially the last one, please.
Let's go with the first one first. Christina, did you get most of it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. What's the first one?
How conscious are you?
Okay. How would your, I mean, if we're talking about creating conscious relationships, does it not begin with us? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we actually have, rather than depending on somebody else, if we are in our power, and we have also got the power to be in charge of our own consciousness. Am I right?
Yeah.
And if we raise our level of consciousness, can we not draw certain relationships into our lives? Yes or no?
I've experienced that, so I would say definitely yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Right. You went from husband number 1 to husband number 2.
That's a funny way of putting it, but practically yes.
I mean, that's what life is for, right? Right. So you get this, right? That's a medal, by the way. Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks to you for all your help as well, because you know what I was going through and where you actually picked me up and where you took me.
Yeah.
During those 6 months. So yeah.
Yeah. All that transpired. So well done. Okay. So the other thing is also, I mean, you know, yeah, we can draw certain people into our lives. You know, we're not going to swap partners, you know, every now and then, right? So we also work through our relationships with the partners we have, with the people we have, with the family we have, with the friends we have, right? Sometimes we have to walk away, and sometimes we work through issues. Then we have to ourselves be able to rise up to a certain level of consciousness where we can interact with the other or the others, and rather than fighting, to also raise them up, right? Not with the intention of fixing people. That's different, right? Because fixing and controlling is another story altogether. Then you're not being very conscious, or we are not being very conscious, right?
Agreed.
Right. So it's remember when we started this conversation about the energy, right? So we're playing with this quantum soup of different energies, right? And how do we know we are being conscious enough to do it in a way that is evolved, that is enlightened, that is more light rather than dark? Remember the yin yang symbol as well, right? So it's a juggling of everything, and the best way to juggle and create that balance and harmony is what? The awareness, right? So that awareness has to grow, And how do we grow that awareness? Our level of consciousness must rise, which then means the frequency of our own energy or the vibration that we carry must also rise, right? It is very different when we operate from, let's say, here than here, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
That's actually, that's it. You know?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But it's this dance we do, how we perceive things, how we are aware, how we see things, right? And then having that power then to know what to do when, to see it like it is rather than through our filters, our human filters, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's question number 1. Question number 2, what is it, Christine?
How fully do you love and honor yourself?
Okay. So we start with how conscious are you? You don't have to answer these questions. You can answer it to yourself to begin with, right? Then we go to the next questions. How much do you love yourself? And in particular, how fully? Sometimes people say, yeah, I love myself a lot, but then they don't realize that they do X, Y, Z, and that they are not exactly honoring themselves in a variety of ways, right? Whether we are beating ourselves up or not being kind enough, right? Things that we wouldn't do to another, we do to ourselves, you know, whatever it may be, right? Do we on a daily basis observe ourselves, what's going on inside us, what's happening in our lives, how are we operating before that, sometime before that, and long before this thing showed up in our lives now, right? Do we realize we are in charge and that we can change all that consciously, not harshly, right? Not where we are, using a whip to
To make it happen.
not to say, how could you have created this? Not that kind of harshness, right? But more of the awareness that what was our makeup at the time, right? Some time ago that then led to this. And how can we be in our power and uncreate it and consciously create something else? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the bottom line comes down to how much do you love and honor yourself? So whilst we have the human self, the soul, and then what I call spirit or pure consciousness or source, right? Later I'll talk about the triple S wisdom, and this is what it stands, what it refers to. We have all that. And the idea, my simple idea and strategy for the whole world as a solution for all of humanity to rise up, right? Rise up and thrive. That means we go beyond all the problems we have worldwide now, right? And there are many. And there are many because of how we have operated for centuries, we meaning humanity, right? So we have a world the way it is today, right? And people are focused on the pandemic and the lack of freedom of it or whatever it may be. But actually, if you step back and you look at the whole thing, this is not just about the government doing X, Y, Z, okay? And I shouldn't say too much about it, otherwise I cannot put this on YouTube, so I'm not gonna go too much there, but I do want to refer to it in the sense that what is happening now, is bound to happen because of what all of us did. Okay, it's just the way we lived. It is bound to happen. Does that make any sense to anyone?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's bound to happen. And in actuality, it's a gift or an opportunity because we have the capacity to transcend it if we know how to come together and think of the whole. If we also know how to use this time, right? It's going to show up all the flaws and strengths of every individual, every community, every country. Okay, and we are meant to address them. Also, this time when everything slows down, we are being recoded and recalibrated.
Yes.
Okay, because we're just going, right? And then there are people who cannot, who have great difficulty to go through this time when there's so much downtime, or when our fears come up because there's lack of something or the other, right? Whether it's a lack of love, there's too much conflict, or there's too much fear, because, you know, it comes to us facing all our lack and limitation, all our fears, all our not enoughness. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But we also have the opportunity to rise up and go beyond all of it. Okay. So we have that. And those of us who can do it will lead, right? Will lead because we can influence others in a positive way, not pushing them, not fixing anybody, not saying they're wrong, none of that. No judgment, right? But offering what is possible because you've done it yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking about 10 years down the line, right? It's not going to take 10 years to get past this, but, you know, I have no idea of the exact details of what's going to transpire. A lot depends on us, right? So we cannot have the consciousness of yesterday if we are going to solve these problems that the consciousness of yesterday created and shows up today. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we need to rise up and have a much higher level of consciousness to create something else, right? Just, I mean, Christina was talking about the relationship with her family, with her husband in particular, and how it's improved with what, you know, with this methodology that I'm sharing with the world. Okay, it begins with us, right? First within ourselves, and then with our families or friends or our community, and then it ripples out, goes further out, right? Then it's between communities, between states, between countries, etc. Right? Between races, between men and women, right? Between humanity and animals and plants and earth and the planet. All that interaction. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Okay, have I really covered this bit about loving and honoring? Are there any questions about this particular question? This particular subject? How are we treating ourselves? Right? Are we behaving in a way where we don't know how to treat others because we don't know how to treat ourselves? Right? And if that is the case, is it because of how we were raised? Do we want to hang on to that past, or are we going to transcend it all? Right? Right? So we can drop the past if we know how to get beyond it. And then we treat ourselves so much better. I'm glad you agree, Johanna. So it's so much, if we know how to treat ourselves so much better, we will know also how to treat others so much better. Make sense, right?
Yes.
Erin, you talked about, previously you talked about, you know, your relationship with various members of your family. I don't know how much you want to share or not, so I shall put it in a more generic way. You can share as much as you want or not. But you talked about that, and in the end, it comes down to this question of loving and honoring yourself, right?
Yes.
And we can be loving towards another, but we also need to be loving towards ourselves. We need to, you know, honor ourselves, and then people take the cue from us as well. Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
And yeah. I can go on this one subject alone for days, so you have to stop me, or you have to ask me a specific question, or I will go on to the next question. Anyone has any questions?
I do actually. I feel I mean, sometimes I find it very hard to stay on track, and I keep falling back to the old patterns. How do I help myself with that?
But you become aware, right?
This one thing has started happening, that, you know, if something happens for a couple of days, on the third day, I generally catch myself doing something in an old way, and I know where it is coming from.
And then
But the struggle, sorry.
And then what do you do?
I generally talk to myself, and I find out where the thought or the pattern is coming from. And I kind of understand it and try to, I wouldn't say fix myself, but at least I understand where it is coming from, who actually said something or did something to me, which I'm actually projecting on other people and all that. But I just don't understand that sometimes when I know I'm doing that, my conscious mind doesn't register it sometimes. It takes me a few days, and then I keep going back to the same pattern and then going back to the new one. It's a constant struggle.
Okay, so to end the struggle or minimize the struggle, you have been given a powerful tool and you're not using it, Miriam. Okay, right? I can only share with people, and I can facilitate great shifts, and then the onus still lies on the person to continue or to maintain that shift and even augment it, right? Right, to keep rising, right? And what I've done is, you know, like create since 2016. You know, Emily, you mentioned this other person. You know, we met through with his workshops. The reason I attended, the reason I attended online workshops at that time that were conducted by other people was to check out what others were doing, right?
Yeah.
It's so that I could then see what is not in the market and what is really what can be my greatest contribution, you know, right? If somebody is already doing X, then I want to do, you know, Y or
Please go inside.
something else.
Distracting me. That's my 4-year-old.
Okay. So yeah, so since 2016, I've been creating on global online programs so that I can support the world, because previously I was doing for a variety of people, including organizations, as I mentioned earlier. And I needed to share this with a bigger audience, you know, not bigger as in numbers, but more of to spread it out, you know, to reach more people, you know, everywhere, and then to train them so that they can then support me to then share it to an even bigger number of people, you know, because I see ahead, you know, what I see what's ahead, and my soul is here to contribute towards that end result, you know, that will definitely come about, you know. Where was I going with this? Loving it.
You telling me that I wasn't practicing the golden glow.
Oops.
Thank you.
Which is true, actually. So you got me.
Okay, so, you know, not only, it's not only about you using it, but you using it and then rising and then thriving and then supporting others to do the same, right? That answers one of the next questions, right? Okay, so, okay, I'll come back to loving and honoring later. What's number 3?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. My daughter brings me something to drink. Thank you. The third one is, the third one is, how high is your desirability
Quotient, yeah.
quotient? Yeah.
DQ.
DQ.
I coined this term desirability quotient to mean it's how great is our ability to feel deserving. Okay, it's related to question number 2 about us loving and honoring ourselves, right? But more specific, and we are measuring IQ, then we went on to EQ, and I'm saying that SQ, our spiritual quotient, needs to be the foundation for both IQ and EQ. Nice butt. Competing with your cats, Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of cat butts on my Zoom call.
You know, the 2 of them, they're one on my left leg and the other on the right leg.
Okay, so
they're drawn to
back to DQ.
The good vibes.
One time I ran a 5-day DQ challenge. When I introduced my membership on my online membership program, The Journey Home, which 2 of you mentioned earlier. And I conducted 2 free live sessions. And the people who attended got a bit agitated after going through the questions that I presented. Why? Why do you think they got agitated?
Well, because you were showing them the mirror. That's why.
Because they didn't realize how much they were not honoring themselves, right?
Yeah.
How much they were not valuing themselves, right? How they were, how their DQ wasn't really that high, how they allowed for so many different things to happen to them, right? I'll say 2 at this point, okay?
That's a hard part.
As if they were victims and don't know how to be in their power. Okay. So the point of all this is that we can actually rise up. Okay, raise our DQ. And what I share in all my programs is this powerful tool called the Golden Globe, which is based on the golden light experience I referred to earlier, where you can easily have your DQ raised. And what's more, you can use it yourself and keep it high. And then you're going to be able to love and honor yourselves easily, effortlessly, powerfully, and joyously. Those are the 4 words, adverbs, that I use a lot, right? It's about doing everything easily and effortlessly, powerfully, and joyously. Okay? And you can do this no matter what's happening in the world, no matter what's happening outside of ourselves. It doesn't mean we don't go through challenges, but we can respond to these challenges in this manner from a great internal alignment, right? That keeps you centered, balanced, and in your power, in your soul power. In this power stems from the highest aspects of who you are. And you're doing this systematically. This is the word I want to emphasize, is systematic. Okay, so there's not, it's not random, and you're just doing it, you know, like what, like if you're doing some exercise, a physical exercise, there's a method to it, right? Okay, and you're doing it the same way, and then it produces a certain result. I've coached people where, well, I can think of one case where the person gets a terrible panic attack, right? And does X, Y, Z, makes a big drama out of it. And then when I have a session with this person, within half an hour, it's all gone. No panic, no drama. After several days of panic and drama. Okay. We are so close to who we really are. So all my programs, including this one, would give you your true self. And it's not just another term that is bandied around. You really get to experience it firsthand, right, Emily?
Yeah. Yes.
I facilitate for you to step into your soul, to merge with and commune and ultimately be your soul more and more, and to have your soul lead you. Okay, so if you're coming from soul, your level of consciousness is going to go right up. If you are going to communicate and relate from soul, your level of conscious communication and relating is also going to go right up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so to me, this is us. This will be not only me helping you or supporting you to rise up to that level consistently. And you can, I mean, how consistent goes back to Maria, right? Is how consistent you then use the tool, right? I went through a lot to first create and then refine, completely revamp and refine this tool. I experienced first the light, then I experienced, first I experienced the extreme light, then I experienced extreme darkness. It wasn't fun. The darkness wasn't fun.
Yeah. It's less fun.
Okay. I also realized that we are invincible. Okay. This invincibility lies within us. This is the power. This is the divine power that I'm talking about. And we all have it. You all have it. Okay. And all I'm doing is facilitating for you to align fully with it. As fully as you want to. Some people don't want to, right? So yeah, you can do it at your pace. There's a particular divine plan for each person. There's a blueprint for each person. Okay, it's entirely, at the end of the day, it's entirely up to you. Okay, but how conscious do you want to be? How much do you want to love and honor yourself and then others? How high is your DQ? And how high do you want it to be? What's question number 4? Because I got so many other slides, so I can go on and on. And we won't finish the entire thing. What's 4? Christina?
The 4th one, yeah. How do we navigate these times?
Yeah, I kind of touched on it. Not only navigate these times, and then what? and thrive,
Thrive and support.
Try.
right? And support others to do it.
Yeah.
So if we did all this for ourselves, right? All that I've just talked about, we can easily support others to do the same. I mean, not using my tools unless they want to sign up for the program, but our own consciousness would automatically influence them, or we would have them out of our lives. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Question number 5.
How balanced and harmonious are you?
Okay. You can answer that for yourself, but you know the importance of that, right? And with these tools and this methodology, you can create that inner balance, that inner harmony, which means you become unconflicted, and then your behavior would also become unconflicted. What it means is that you are coming from a powerful and unshakable or less shakable, less erratic invincibility, right? A greater power, a greater alignment, a greater centeredness, okay? And when you don't have external harmony, you know what you need to do to create that harmony, okay? You know what to do. And sometimes we're called to do the tough thing. Okay. Next question.
How playful and light-hearted are you?
Yeah, and that at the end of all those serious things that I've talked about, it's not so serious after all. You know, you can just have fun and have a laugh. You can have a cry first and then a laugh, and then you laugh. You know?
Yeah.
You know, because other than me facilitating for people to step into soul, I also facilitate for them, after going into soul, to step into pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is the godliness of who we all are. Okay? There's no beginning, there's no end. It's an enormous is not even big enough a word. It is a great vastness.
It's the luxury swimming pool to get better.
The swimming pool is still kind of small.
You just tip in there for a bit and you're recharged.
This is no end, right? No beginning, no end, and it's calm, it's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, what was all that hoo-ha about, right? There's nothing here, right? But we come from that.
Yeah.
To voluntarily be on earth and go through all this hoo-ha. Why? Consciousness can expand. That's it. Okay? Otherwise, you just be in this vastness, and that's it. It's very calm, it's very peaceful, it is definitely powerful, but it's not a boom kind of power. It can be, right? But usually it's peaceful. Okay, so we have to, create some hoo-ha on earth. Okay? As Shakespeare said, it's much ado about nothing. So, Right? Okay, next question.
Yeah, and the last question is, how open are you to receive everything you desire?
Yeah, because we say very often people say they are, but they're not. They're blocking themselves very, very often. Okay, so then you connect all those 7 questions and it's all linked. Okay, so when I facilitate for people to step into soul and to get answers from soul and to have soul lead, then everything can shift. And you're not going to have soul lead 100% immediately. It most often doesn't happen like that. Okay, it's an integration. It's an integrative process. It's an incremental process. So you don't have to have any fear, because some people do, of not fitting in and not being human anymore. Okay. How much soul do you want to
If
be?
only.
Sorry?
I'm saying if only we could. No, I'm joking.
Well, we
No,
can, but we say
it's a lousy joke, sorry.
no, but actually we can. It's just that we're not meant to sometimes, and sometimes we don't really want to. Okay, we may moan about our situations as humans, right?
Mhm.
But we also kind of addicted to the pain and struggle.
Oh no.
And we need to get out of it, right? Mariam, you're nodding.
Oh yeah.
We need to get out of it.
Mm.
Okay, that's it. Okay, now back to the rest of the, it's quite a bit more, so hang in there. Okay, this is the title of a book I started writing in great detail, about 100 pages of it, in early 2019, even before March. And this was before the pandemic came about. And at the time, what was more pressing was climate change. It still is very pressing, but you know, with the pandemic, this is kind of put aside. If we as humanity know, if all of us know how to rise up and correct what created this in the first place, and correct or raise our consciousness as far as our relationship with all living things, including the planet, right? Animals, the earth, everything, oceans, everything. We've done a lot of damage to a lot of things, okay? And if we know how to rise up and correct a lot of things and bring balance and harmony to everything, okay? So balance within, balance and harmony within, balance and harmony without.
Yeah.
Then we can not prevent, but we can make the great problems that climate change brings about. We can reduce them. Otherwise, it's going to be way worse than what's happening now. Way, 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 way worse. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, this pandemic can be a gift and a great opportunity for us to transcend ourselves and to rise up and then correct a lot of things in the next 10 years. Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, it would be an absolute disaster. I don't foresee a disaster. I foresee us moving towards a golden age instead. In fact, it has been predicted, and we're moving in that direction. So whatever ills and problems and issues and challenges and darkness we see, it can all be eradicated, and we can contribute towards its eradication and evolvement through our own rising up and our own thriving. What's that sound?
Don't know.
Okay. So we do need to do this. We do need to return to wholeness, and then we can create wholeness worldwide. And simply by being the soul and spirit or consciousness that we already are. That's it. Okay, it's simple, but it's not that easy because we want to be human. We are used to being human. Honestly, it's as simple as that. And part of this shift would be to be the invincible love that we are and to be in our soul power. I mentioned the word invincible a few times. This invincibility is simply the love that we are, not the sentimental human love, but the powerful divine love that we are. And it's not anything sentimental or mushy. It is powerful. Okay? It's an energy that is inside all of us. And it is a creative power that's inside all of us. And I've gone through all that I've gone through in order to create both this tool and this methodology that can be shared with you, with people around the world, that can offer you all of this, if you're going to use it. And then we're talking still about creating conscious relationships. So when we are in a relationship, whether it's a romantic one, a marriage, or it's a work relationship or a relationship with someone, with a family member, or with the earth, or with animals or plants. Well, in this case, I'm really referring more to humans. Well, also maybe to animals and you know, like bringing a sacred respect to all relationships, right? So if there's a sacred respect, then we are not going to control things. If we're talking about humans, then we give freedom to love. It doesn't mean that we don't draw healthy boundaries. It doesn't mean that we don't say no to certain things, because we have to love and honor ourselves as much as we love and honor somebody else. But loving is one thing. Controlling is not love. Controlling is fear. Controlling means that you're coming from a very low, let's not say very, we're coming from a lower vibration rather than a higher one, right?
Yes, based from fear, right? Control.
Yes. So you can give freedom, but it doesn't mean that you let somebody just run riot and dishonor.
No.
Right? So again, we come back to balance and harmony. Okay? And this includes accepting of yourself and others. This includes compassion for yourself and others. So this is a favorite quote of mine, my own, and a favorite key message of mine, which is to come from love and power at the same time, right? Love would be your heart chakra, and power would be your solar plexus, okay? And then have the two merge. And we go beyond duality. When I began this conversation, I talked about energy and this quantum soup of different energies. And you begin to see the interconnection of everything.
Yeah.
You go beyond neediness, because that's not love, right? Then you're not controlling, then you're also not suffering, right? So when you know who you really are, which is this soul and this consciousness that you are, you experience it firsthand. Not only do you experience it firsthand yourself, You feel it yourself. You experience what it's like and you feel really great. And if you care to diligently or conscientiously enough to embody that more and more. Okay, feeling it for a while is one thing. Embodying it is another thing. Embodying means integrating it, and then you're rising up. You're going from your human self to be more and more of the soul that you already are. Okay, you are already soul. You're already spirit. You're already this consciousness. When I facilitate for you to experience that, you will know that it's you. Okay. But it's a question of where the focus is, right? Where your primary identification is. And that's all. Okay. And then you become truly attractive. Okay. Because you're powerful and you're free. Okay. You might scare people too. It depends on what we can create. And you could, so that's kind of all I touched on already about communing with and being soul and consciousness. And you communicate and relate from soul and consciousness. So this is the ultimate conscious communication and conscious relating. And you may not, reach the ultimate. You're not likely to like immediately. And that's the whole fun of it. Okay. So you go at your pace and you move towards that more and more. It's kind of paradoxical because you're moving towards being more of who you truly are. Okay? And this is the good part. Good, it's all good, but for humans, this is really good because, in all my programs, and I would share with you the key to mastery, which is the Golden Globe, and you get to do a lot of creating internally. You're not just sitting there in meditation, contemplating your navel. You're doing a whole lot more. And one of the things that we do would be to get help. I call it divine help, but you can say it's help from the universe, help from any higher being that you trust or believe in. It can be from your own soul. I give people the freedom to choose how to adapt it according to what their current belief system is. And one of the things that I encourage some who are comfortable with it to, for example, get a divine being such as Archangel Michael to come in and clear all lower vibrational energies and emotions, say surrounding, for example, a childhood experience or a past life experience. And it's done very quickly, very efficiently, and without much drama and much discomfort or pain to the person, okay, who's doing it. Now, the magic of this is, and Emily, you can apply this straight away since you know the Golden Globe. You can do the same with money. So again, I began this session with talking about energy. Money is simply energy as well. Okay. We've given a form to a divine being such as Archangel Michael. It can be anybody. any body meaning any being, any form, right? Throughout different religions, each religion has different forms that they hold in high and sacred regard. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So money is also, there's no form to it. It's not just the coins and the dollars that we see or associate with it, but money is actually an energy. And if you address money as an energy, as a powerful energy, you can call on it. It is not evil. The evil element to money is actually placed there by how some humans use it. It's actually not part of money. Okay, so raising your consciousness around money is taking it from the root chakra, which is fear around fear and the need for security, and you raise it to the heart chakra, which then becomes around love and abundance. Okay, the moment you do that and you, let's say, consciously focus on doing that, right? You can consciously drop all anxiety around money, because there's this underlying fear about not having enough money. Okay? Even wealthy people can have a fear around that. That what if they lose it all, right? What if something happens and the money is all gone? Okay, so if we can totally relax around money, and if we can be in our creative power, if we can be balanced and harmonious enough and aligned enough internally, we can receive what we desire. Remember that question about how fully do you allow yourself to receive what you desire? Okay, and all connected with the DQ and all the rest of it. How much you love and honor yourself. So it comes to that. Okay, and then we have to clear what is in the way, and then we open enough to receive it. Am I making sense to all of you?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions around this? And the thing too about that question about being playful, being lighthearted, if we know how to do that, and be the same way with money, we would shift our relationship around money. We would get into our power, our creative power, and we would welcome it in because we deserve to have lots of it, right? We do lots of creative things with the money. We can uplift people, ourselves and others with money. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, my mission is to impact leaders who can impact others. And my definition of a leader is anyone who can influence others in a positive way. And in this instance is to contribute towards raising or towards the flowering of human consciousness.
Yeah.
And moving to unity consciousness, right? Create and my vision is abundance for all. And that's why I'm introducing this element of money into all my programs. Okay. When you know, in relationships, people fight with each other because of money, right? Whether it's a working relationship or a personal one, right? Because the you know, either it's all because there's an underlying fear around not being good enough and not having enough. Right?
Yeah, something like that.
So, or a relationship with ourselves. We think we don't deserve enough, or we are not good enough. Some people can, accept a certain amount of money and that's it, and then they have underlying programs about being greedy otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a whole bunch of stuff there.
Yeah.
Right. But actually, there's no money. Is just an energy. Not just. It is an energy, and the thing is that it can be a very loving and powerful energy. And you can address money as an energy and say, for example, money take care of my expenses. Okay. Money pay my mortgage. Money pay the rent. Okay. So same as you ask Archangel Michael to come in and clear for you, you can ask money to do certain things for you. Okay. So there has to be this little switch inside your mind, right? And there has to be a certain playfulness as well. That you play with the whole thing, right? You're childlike enough to say, let me try it. Right? Because we are taught otherwise, right?
Yeah.
I played with it and it's worked, so. Okay.
Yeah.
Raise your consciousness around money from security or fear, root chakra, to love or abundance, heart chakra, come from soul wisdom. This is the soul wisdom that I got. Okay, Erin, can you kindly read this for me?
Unity consciousness, interconnection, and exchange. When we realize that we are more than enough, we will also know that we'd always have more than enough of everything from love to material success, including money. Like everything else, money is an energy, and we can cultivate a relaxed and loving relationship with it. We can bring love, joy, fun, lightheartedness, and creativity to making money and all our activities, interactions, and relationships, absolute integrity, appreciation, and gratitude too.
Does it make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's kind of sums up all that I've been talking about. Any questions? Okay. This is key. Other than balance and harmony, we need to focus on creating and maintaining and augmenting. This is the other thing we need to focus on, being our creator self and using our creative power to consciously create everything that matters to us. All our material needs, create wonderful relationships where all parties are loved and honored, including yourself or beginning with yourself. So anything and everything, doing what you love, the whole works. I promise you it can all be done, but you have to want to do it, right? Yes. So that desire has to be there and that willingness has to be there for you to give these things to yourself. And then to do the inner work. The inner work isn't difficult, right? Emily, are you doing your Golden Globe every day?
Oh, yeah.
How often?
It really helps me I do it every morning and sometimes during the day as well. And I especially do a lot of clearings because there's so much going on that I really need to clear often. And because I kind of developed some faculties. I mean, I've always kind of been hypersensitive and overfeel things. But since I've done the club with you, maybe it's my age, I don't know. I mean, there's an ensemble of things. I really feel more and more things and energies that are not necessarily mine, that are really low vibrations. And I need to clear it often so I don't carry that. Because it's heavy, annoying, and I aspire to higher and happier vibrations. Yeah.
How much of you believes that you can heal your spinal problems entirely and quickly? 0 to 10. Don't think.
10.
You sure, darling?
Yeah. I didn't catch the whole question, but I questioned, did I hear it well? And I heard like, trust it, it's okay. Okay, 10.
Okay, I'll repeat the question. How much do you believe that you can heal your spinal issues?
Oh, that's the spinal part. I didn't, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do believe that I can heal it. I definitely, it's just
entirely and quickly.
Entirely and quickly, yes, I do believe, and I aim for that. Yeah.
How much do
I
you
just accept at the same time that it takes its own timing. I've had that those messages or feelings or intuition that it requires a certain time somehow.
Okay, how much time?
I just heard 4 months. Wow, it's quick.
Okay. Are you willing for it to be quick? Are you willing?
I'd like it to be faster.
Okay, one thing at a time. Are you willing for it to be completely healed within the next 4 months? Yes or no?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you align with this daily, darling?
Yes, I align with this daily.
Okay. What other health issues do you have?
What other health issues do I have?
Yes.
But it's just that basically. It's those. So I just heard about that. It's just an add up. It's like I have those cervicals, my vertebrae that are a bit weakened by by a few accidents and bad treatments to my back through work and life, etc. But also there's that fibromyalgia. I don't know if you said that in English.
Yeah, you can use you Google medical medium fibromyalgia.
Oh yeah, I know him. Yeah.
And follow his protocols for that. You can clear.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, you can.
I know.
Very...
But I'm French, you know. We like to. There's a lot of things that I'm maybe not yet ready to give up, but I really know how I need to tend to a more harmony again, between acido-basic.
Comes to that, darling. It's like how willing are you to let it go, right?
How much I'm willing to let it go?
Yeah. Are you comfortable with your fibromyalgia and the pain that comes and suffering that comes with it?
No, it's really horrible. It's annoying.
Then, honestly, his protocols help that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
But it
it's just that.
Okay.
I'm fully committed to doing that. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
So, how long will that take?
A few weeks, a few months, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. So, do we have a commitment here?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am fully committed. I'm writing it down. Okay.
Fibromyalgia gone in a few weeks or few months. I'm cutting you some slack. I'm not pinning you down to how many weeks or how many months. Okay.
Thank you.
But the other one, the spinal issues within 4 months. Okay.
Yeah.
The rest is up to you, darling.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So that the next time when you introduce yourself, you're not saying I'm Emily from France and I have health issues.
No, I had health issues, but now I'm healed.
No,
Thanks.
you're not going to mention it. You're going to say, I'm Emily from France and I'm absolutely fabulously healthy and strong. and
Yeah.
I would have a fantastic life that is so abundant.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good.
And then you can
Thanks.
talk about conscious
Yeah.
relationships as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I leave up to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Eileen, can you kindly read what's on this chart, this slide?
Mhm.
You need to unmute yourself, right, darling?
Sorry about that. Hilarious. I'm reading to myself here. Okay, here, let me start over. Okay. Create your future reality from the power of now. Where to next? We must create balance and harmony within ourselves and in our lives, most of all, and learn to systematically navigate the high frequencies and our increasingly accelerated ascension process.
And there's a bit in red there which you may not be able to see. Can you see that?
I do not see anything in red. Unless, do I have to go to the other page? No.
Oh no, don't worry. It says where to.
I don't see it.
It says where to next. Okay.
Okay,
so
where
like,
to next?
okay, we've covered all that. Then what? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what you saw, what you witnessed, me having that little exchange with Emily. Okay. In her case, because she's done one of my programs, she's been using the Golden Globe, which is our key to mastery, the key to mastery that I created. She knows then what to do once we have had the exchange and that. I mean, I didn't ask her, I asked her questions and she came up with the answers herself, right? And I got her to make a certain amount of commitment as to what she's going to do to consciously then create her future reality, okay?
Yeah.
So you're creating it from the power of now. The power of now doesn't mean this moment. It can mean this moment. It also means the container of this moment, the container of this space in which she currently is dealing with fibromyalgia and what's the other thing, her spinal issues. And she's to be this container that then creates something else. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you will experience in this program and all my programs is, you know, like when I facilitate for you to step into soul and consciousness, then you create from this power, this divine power that you are, right? Soul stems from consciousness. It's like a fragment of this vastness called that I refer to as consciousness. It is this godliness. It's this impersonal God with no name, no religion. It is what I wouldn't even call it the universe. It is what everything is made of. It's the entirety of everything.
Source.
Pardon?
Source.
Yes, thank you. All that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you experience that. You experience your own vastness, your own consciousness, the source of everything. And then as I say, you experience it momentarily, and then you integrate it and you bring as much of it into your daily human life as you want to. It's still, you're still in charge. The choice is still yours, right? How much do you want to stick to the old and to the human addiction to pain and struggle, and how much do you want to be free, conscious, and alive, and aware, and in your creative power? Your choice. The presence, the neutrality, the empty space in which all occurs, the now. And you get to align with this higher intelligence. In 2011, I came up with this and presented it to a human resource community here. And it went right over everybody's head, almost everybody. And they were not very interested in it at all. So, well, I would say that, well, that's partly why, you know, I want to share this with with the whole world, you know, to people who are maybe more receptive to this idea, right?
Yeah.
Because we actually are this higher intelligence. Okay, we're just not aligned with it, let alone connected with it very much, but we can be, okay? And offer you something where you can systematically connect and align with it and get wisdom, get higher intelligence from it, okay? And the more you do it, the more you're going to be automatically it. It's you, it's who we all are. So I've talked about the Golden Globe. The world is out of balance because we are out of balance. The decade ahead is about moving into perfect balance. And the greater the balance, the greater the power. So it's up to you how much in balance and harmony you want to be. This was a subheading for my book, which I hope to finish by the end of this year. I've got to update it hugely with all that has happened since I started it. So this is what's happening. There's an inner revolution or a movement to raise our spiritual intelligence, or our SQ, to build spiritual capital for all of us, whether as individuals, families, communities, organizations, the whole world, and save us from annihilation. We are meant to rise and thrive. We need to keep redefining, reinventing, and refining ourselves to rise higher and higher, to merge with soul and spirit more and more, and to allow these higher aspects of who we are to lead. So this is what happens. Very often we live in this space, okay? And this is our heart rhythm pattern. These charts are from Heart Math, the Heart Math Institute in the US, where they did these studies. So when we are in chaos rather than coherence. Coherence is when we are in alignment, we're in balance and in harmony. And when we are in this state, which is a conflicted state, there's cortical inhibition, okay? And that means we are stressed, basically, okay? And instead of this, we can, with the Golden Globe, we can consciously create this, where we are in a state of appreciation of life, of ourselves, of each other. And so here we are facilitating, there's cortical facilitation rather than cortical inhibition. And there's coherence instead of chaos. Here's another chart from the Institute of Heart Math in the US. So you see it goes from chaos like this to this. It affects your respiration, affects your heart rate, goes from this pattern to this pattern, affects your blood pressure, goes from this to this. So people get sick, okay? So what I offer you is this in a tool that helps you to go from here to here. And I call it your internal self-management, okay? I came up with that term actually for organizations, because then I'm not using spiritual terms that will probably freak most of them out, right? So I say internal self-management, same thing. So I didn't explain this. I call my methodology, our methodology, ontological coaching. It comes from the word ontology, which derives from Greek and New Latin word ontologia, which means the science of being. So we take the whole being into consideration rather than just the surface of the person. Hence, I also call this methodology Triple S wisdom. And I referred to it earlier. The 3 S's stand for our human self, our soul self, and the spirit or source that we are, or the universe or consciousness that we are. Because I want to call it Triple S, so I use spirit or source instead, but you can use all the other terms as well. And the Golden Globe is a tool within this wisdom. It aligns your network of intelligence or your energy center around your head, your heart, and your gut. When these 3 centers or networks of intelligence are aligned, the 3 S's, the 3 aspects of who you are also automatically aligned. Okay, and then you get that powerful internal alignment, the balance and the harmony. And then you can also create the same in your daily life, okay? And you just do it incrementally. You build on it, okay? And then life shifts, becomes a lot more fun because you realize you can really consciously create what you want. You see this is
Monster. Amina, forsiktig med de beina.
okay. This is a diagram that I drew to represent the 3 S's and alignment. This stands for the whole world or universe, and this is the big S here, and then there are 2 smaller S's here, basically illustrating what I just explained. And this is a fundamental principle of this methodology. It comes from Einstein's quote, which says, the field is a sole governing agency of the particle. It means we're not just working on the surface, we're working on our entire field. There's a field of energy for each person and each energy, right? Where there's the field of the energy field of the entire community or person or family, there is a field, right? And we work on this field, okay? And that's why this is so powerful and people get results very quickly across the board. So that's the science of it. So our approach is about employing a higher intelligence where spiritual intelligence has to be the foundation for IQ and EQ. And spiritual intelligence or SQ means utilizing or maximizing our inner wisdom and power. And leads to creating wholeness within and the whole world. This is the vision that I have, and I'm committed to contributing as greatly as I can towards it. And we're given a biology that helps us transcend or go beyond our humanness and to thrive. And hence I was talking about these 3 networks of intelligence or energy centers. This is the biology that I'm talking about. When we align that, we come into a wholeness, which then means we are integrated, which then means we are increasingly our godliness. Okay, so you shift from small s to big S and the biggest S. Okay? Not S as in ASS, but you know. And then you automatically thrive. Okay, so you multiply that from one individual to one group to a community to the whole world. So because I'm looking at the time, it's 2 a.m. here and I've kept you for 2 hours already. So I'm just going to tell you that the Golden Globe gives you all of these benefits and more. I'm going to be putting this on YouTube and you can go through it in your own time as well. All that we have discussed, you know, I'm just listing it here anyway. Okay, this I do want to mention. Whilst it uses, I've incorporated vital universal laws as well as certain things like sacred geometry into the whole thing. That's why it works so powerfully and quickly and consistently so if the person uses it regularly. One law is the law of least effort, where you don't have to do everything yourself, your human self. You employ universal or divine help to support you, including the energy of money. And the other law is the law of emergence, where your soul, your spirit self, your soul self, the highest and most powerful aspects of you, who you are, spontaneously emerge and lead more and more, as much as you allow, you as in your human self allows, right? And then the law of resonance, which I place 3rd here, because there's a great focus on the law of attraction. And I was teaching this before The Secret came out, before the law of attraction was made popular. And hence I don't want to use the term the law of attraction because I'm doing this in a deeper way, where you are not simply manifesting what your human self wishes. You can do that for sure, but I want to take people to be in their creative power, be their creator self, and to consciously create or materialize from heart and soul, not from the human heart, but from the spiritual heart, the higher heart, and from soul. You can still create from your human self as much as you like. You know, you have the freedom to do that. But I show you another way, a deeper way, a more powerful and sustainable way, a more fulfilling way as well. Then the choice is yours. Okay. So again, there's more benefits here. And this is a quote from someone who has passed away, and he was known as the father of coaching. And he says, high-end coaching occurs when a coach is able to help someone transcend himself or herself and arrive at wholeness. And for sure, this is what this methodology offers you. And these are just a couple of quotes. You know, my new website guy complains about the massive number of testimonials I have, and he wants me to cut back, you know. So I'm being very conservative here with 2 only. And the second one sounds very corporate. And the reason I included it is that I want to demonstrate that this works for all sectors, okay, all audiences, all parts of the community. Whether you've been doing this kind of work for a long time or whether you're totally new to it. It's just a matter of languaging it. It's the same thing. And this is what we can look forward to, a golden age starting in 2032. And this is, so don't be too bothered by things that seem to be falling apart, things that are being dismantled. There is great stuff ahead. It has to fall apart before there can be a rebirth. So the powerful methodology which you can use for life is the Golden Globe. And then I beg your pardon. The powerful methodology is the Triple S wisdom. And then the powerful key to mastery is the Golden Globe. And then I read back your true self. How much of your soul and spirit or consciousness you want is your choice. And your human self is included. You get more of yourself as you raise your discoverability quotient and keep it raised. You have the tool to keep it raised. And as that gets raised and your human self rises, it will merge then with your soul, with the spirit of pure consciousness that you are.
Yeah.
And that's a repeat of what I've shared already. And life just gets a lot more fun, you know? But you don't have to chase the fun, you know? You're spontaneously joyous, lighthearted, loving, centered, balanced, powerful, clear, calm, creative, a whole lot more. These are my proposed dates. I made a mistake somewhere, so I have to check this. In any case, there's an early bird fee before a certain date. And the idea is to start as soon as possible, preferably on a Saturday. But honestly, I give freedom to love. Whoever signs up, you know, gets a choice as to when and so on. Okay. I will give you the link to the web page so you can refer to that. Maybe you've already seen it anyway. I've been posting on it. Okay. The reason I'm not sharing this with a big audience is that I really want to impact those who can impact others. Okay. And then we can dream big and bold. That's it. Okay. How was that?
Sounds good.
Any questions, Pussycat? Any questions?
I'm curious, how many sessions are they and how long the duration and all that?
Is that you, Eileen?
Yes.
Okay. It's four weekly sessions if we can do that. and it's 3 hours per session. I usually over deliver. Thanks, Annetta. You got to go, have you? Or you cannot speak. Erin, Angie didn't show up, huh?
No, I also tried messaging her and she didn't respond to my messages. I'm not sure what's going on.
Doesn't matter because I've got this on I'll upload it tomorrow, you know, or today when I wake up. Did I answer you, Eileen? Preferably weekly, preferably Saturdays, but I can work around whoever signs up. And 3 hours each because I go deep and I'm thorough, I'm very thorough. Whatever I do, it's very thorough and comprehensive generally. Right, Emily?
Yeah. Yeah, I very highly recommend the coaching program with Helen. She's really all there with you along the way with whatever happens. And it's really useful and helpful.
I'm wondering, well, there'll be, I'm trying to figure out the commitment, responsibility. Wondering if there will be like, I don't know, homework, I don't know what to call it, or is it just the commitment of the, yeah.
You get more out of it if you use this tool, and generally I, in inverted commas, prescribe someone to use the globe minimum of 20 minutes twice a day, because what happens then is that you create a stronger and greater internal alignment by doing that. You expand your field, okay? And you are clearing heaviness, lightening it, and raising your vibration, which then means you are more and more of your creator self, which then means you draw in more and more of what you want. Okay, that's it. So the choice is yours, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Erin, anything? How was it? Does it answer any of your questions?
Yes.
All the things you brought up, everything can be easily dealt with powerfully and quickly.
Yes.
The rest is practice and play, you know, right?
Yes. Yes.
You know, you have fun with it and you have fun creating what you want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hello. Now I can say hello to you.
Hello. That's my miracles. So it works.
Going very, very fast.
Yeah.
Right? Quite tall now.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I also highly recommend the program because it creates wonders. At least for me, it works great.
I actually think, you know, without being biased, I think it works very well for everybody. How well the person, right? It's like, how much do you want to use it? How willing are you to drop it, basically, right? If you want to hang on to the old, be my guest, just do it somewhere else, you know, because after a while it's going to be painful for me to watch, right? That's it. We all have choices, and you know, give freedom to love, right? Right?
Yeah.
Everyone has their own path, has a divine plan and their own blueprint, right? You know? you want to, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
Would that be a redo, like for me, as the?
Darling?
It's kind of like this. This would cover what we already done like a few months ago, right? Kind of.
Ah,
It's better for me to focus on the coaching program, maybe.
yes, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. You know what we talked about. So I think probably in early May we can do the next.
Oh, sounds good. I received a letter from my company that just fired me, and I think that might cover the cost of the coaching program. So I'm happy. A bad thing, I mean, a sad thing creating a happy thing.
Oh, you're gonna create lots of happy things from here.
It's evolving.
100%. Okay.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Each time I see what you present, it's something new, something deeper comes, and it's amazing how great it evolves. Thank you very much.
You know, I'm going to be 68 years old in mid-August, you know, and and here I am presenting at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, you're a rock star.
I wanted to say rock and roll, you know. It's fun, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I would like, sorry.
go on.
I just wanted to thank you because it has definitely lifted some of my fears that I've been subconsciously experiencing. And it has made me realize how, you know, I was coming from lack in a lot of places rather than abundance, and how I was actually blocking it. So thank you very much.
I want you to do this whole program though.
I would like to do the coaching one probably. I've been thinking about it. So let's see.
Really? But you you can only do coach training if you start doing the globe every day. Sorry.
That's the commitment I have to make, and I've been thinking about it during the sessions because everybody talks about its benefits in their lives, and I've realized I've missed out on some of them in my life for sure. But during the time that I was, go ahead.
You have a month, right? You have a month before the coach training starts. Okay.
Okay.
And sorry about the finger wagging. this is
that's fine.
This is conditioning. But really, I'm firstly, I'm thrilled to hear that. Secondly, do your homework every day, twice a day. Because you were very much there, except that you went and did other things. You did also one great thing here, right? I'm pointing to the person sitting next to you. So, right? So you've done that. Now you can go do some other things as well, right?
Yes. Would you like to say something about the session?
It was nice and very informative and very nicely presented. Thank you. And it's really interesting to see all the interesting things you told us about. So looking forward to it in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. That was lovely. Yeah, for you to say that. Anything? Okay, then we either end here or we go around the room and talk about takeaways and commitments in true coaching style. But if not, I can also say, love you and I leave you for now. Up to you. What would you like?
Yeah. Saying the commitment. Okay, I'm gonna repeat the commitment again. So it's really committing, really. Okay, that's it. So I wrote it down, so that's a good thing. I am fully committed to heal my spinal issues within 4 months. And
No. Yeah.
No. Comment ça? No.
Yes. But You add one more.
Yes, yes, yes.
My spine is healthy.
My spine is healthy and fine. Yeah.
Wow. Full stop.
Yeah, that's good. Sounds good.
Right? And then
I am aligning every day. I'm committing to using the globe because I do it only in the morning every day. So I'm committing to doing it twice a day now. So thank you, Helen. Thank you.
What you need to do to raise that level of belief so that you come
Yeah.
in resonance with that intention. Right?
Yeah, I'm embodying it. I feel like it's that second part of the process happening right now. It's like I've been working on the seed, on the causal, but I mean on the creating thought process things, and now I'm really like going through the cellular level. So reaching deeply in the body and releasing a lot of old things. So I'm happy. It's a bit of a shitty time, but I'm happy.
Like a pig in mud.
Gotta go through that anyways.
Eileen, do you have anything you want to say or ask?
I definitely want to extend my appreciation for your commitment to this, especially staying up so late in your neck of the woods. That takes a lot of commitment. So thank you for that. And I'm very interested. I'm going to be contemplating or meditating on how to navigate this. I'm in California right now, and they recently allowed I don't even want to use the word allowed. They recently are, let's say, not penalizing businesses for opening up. So I'm in the midst of that and trying to figure out my schedule with all that. So that's where I'm at.
We can work around it, okay? Right?
Okay.
As long as the desire is there, and it's strong enough, we work around it. Okay.
Okay.
And also, thank you for showing up because you couldn't at one point, right? So I'm also grateful that you're here, and I'm sure you can also influence other people, in due course as well. Okay, that's just my feeling. Okay. So,
thank you.
And also, for the sake of others who are not here and who will listen to or view this recording, is that my deep commitment to this work. It's like 2-3 decades of it, and also greatly slashing down prices for a purpose, right? To reach more people because it's high time, because we are here as souls, we are here for a purpose. I'm definitely here to contribute towards the massive flowering of consciousness. And it's before like 2-3 decades ago, I was procrastinating and delaying doing this because it's like a burden, it's like a responsibility, Now it's just a joy, It's a joy and it's fun and I can play with it, which is why I can also share that quality with others and encourage them that way to, you can be committed, like, with great integrity and as Emily said, like, I'm all there, you're all in something, but you can also bring a lightheartedness and a playfulness to it. We're just here for fun, as souls. Otherwise we are in la la land, floating around, right? Which is cool also.
If only.
What?
If only. No, I'm joking.
We were.
A bit more fun nowadays would be appreciated.
Well, we opted for this, right? We signed up for this.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
okay, so we can make it fun. Okay, shift all that. Erin, is there anything? Otherwise, I'm going to let all of you go.
Yes, it was wonderful to sit with all you ladies today, to feel your commitment to living and speaking and loving in a higher way than maybe humanity ever has. And to, you know, to see that these points of light all over the globe, and to know that, you know, this is really happening in the world, that more and more of us are rising up to love and living in that highest source connection, and living in deep appreciation for each other and ourselves. And great teachers and leaders like you, Helen, for coming and initiating those and being an answer to the calls. So I want to just extend my deep appreciation for Helen and all of you today for connecting and in this collectiveness here with each other. And I really appreciate you, and hope to be seeing more of you. And so I send my blessings from the big island of Hawaii, and all of our rainbows and greenness and deliciousness over here, and the abundance of water at this time, and send that blessing all around the world. And I just, I love you ladies, and your beautiful gloriousness, beautiful selves. And, you know, thank you for being so open and graceful and bright. So until we see each other again, aloha.
Yeah,
Aloha, yeah.
you're a great leader too, right, darling? Right? Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Okay, this one, earmarked. Okay. Christina, did you like the new slides?
It's great. It's amazing, actually.
I enjoyed playing with them, you know. Really, I was like a child.
Beautiful colors, yeah.
It's a completely different way of approaching, but the colors and the way it's presented was very nice.
You know, I turned everything around because, you know, the problem I had was the laptop thing, and then I think I can stop the recording.